That's all you need. It was Donald Trump and a bunch of other guys in suits with golden shovels taking that photo of them breaking ground, and in back is the boarded up fish place just ready to be plowed asunder.
That was there for 150 years.
You know, and it's not the fault of some corporations or Donald Trump. It's like Walmart kills all small town economies. But it's not Walmart's fault. It's the fault of the fucking people. I used to have a house in upstate New York, and there was a town that had all these beautiful old diners and general stores, and they all closed one by one because of Walmart. But it wasn't fucking Walmart's fault. It was the people that lived in that town that don't give a shit about their neighbors.
But is it giving a shit?
It's the American basic consumer who's like, well, okay, I could spend 13 cents less on a mop.
Yeah.
So fuck my fucking neighbor. Fuck my neighbor who's had that store in his family for, who's taken care. There's like a million George Bailey moments in that town's history where the whole, I'll give a check to your, baseball teams with names, John's General Store.
Right.
Yeah. Like the whole community coming together to do stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I want to buy a Jim Carrey movie 3-pack for $7. So fuck the old movie theater with a Wurlitzer organ.
But think of Blockbuster Video. Now that caused a big thing because it pretty much closed down all the little mom and pop video stores.
Which was a great family business.
Which was a family business and shit like that. I remember those things and having to go in and you'd have to buy a membership fee when you first get in. It was like $100.
And that was just to try to keep the store
to keep the store open. But then Blockbuster came around. Now, what do you want to do? Go into the mom and pop and wait a week for the latest release?
Yeah, why don't you? Why don't you fucking wait a little bit?
I want it now.
So fuck the family that opened that store. Yeah. And by the way, fuck them that they used to think about what movies you might like. That you might walk in and they go, Anthony, you like comedies.
Anthony, we got a whole section for you.
Do you even know
Remember
who Francois Tati is? And they'd show you something that we went and found this. Blockbuster would never do that for you. Fuck them.
I agree with both of you, but
so that you can save a little bit of fucking money.
The local place that Ann's talking about, you had to wait for some asshole to bring back the nice new movie.
It's out. You'd be like, it's out. It's like, what?
When is it coming back? I want to watch that fucking thing.
Again,
and then Blockbuster said, fuck
ability.
That. The Blockbuster said, look, we could just put 100 copies on the shelf.
So you're thinking the whole loyalty thing should outweigh the convenience?
Absolutely, because you're supporting somebody who there's a human being and a family who's living off that business, and they give a shit about you.
But
by the way, where's Blockbuster? It's fucking gone, so they leave a vacuum.
You
can't rent a fucking
now.
video anymore.
Yeah, but why would you? Digital delivery.
If there was video stores, you know why? It's like bookstores. A bookstore is not just a place where you can buy books. It's a place where somebody expresses themselves by deciding what books to put out there and what books they want to offer their community.
Right.
And that gets replaced by Barnes & Nobles, which means you get the same fucking books that every place in the world gets. I mean, not just America.
Right.
Every bookstore has exactly the same books now. I mean, that's people don't realize what a massive... It used to be, you go to that bookstore, you're going to get some weird off-color books of this kind, or you're going to get maybe a right-wing bookstore, a left-wing bookstore. That used to be how people fucking... And then so Barnes & Nobles comes, and the difference is a family business will hang on through the tough years if they have half a chance.
Yeah.
But a corporate business will go, we're not making it $10 trillion, just pull up stakes. And they're gone. So now there's no more fucking bookstores.
That's fucking amazing.
Or video stores. Yeah.
No bookstores, no video stores.
Right. The big Barnes & Noble on the Upper West.
But because those are predatory busibusinesses.
Given your thinking, though, wouldn't we never progress? Like,
who's progressing? That's
not
progression.
I mean, with everything. Like, wouldn't we not look at the automotive business, which is horrible now, of course, because of the outsourcing and everything. But early on, there were guys working those lines. What about the technology to come in and use robots that did eliminate jobs, but it makes the car better and faster
but that's exactly the thing. These things like bookstores and video stores, they weren't improved. They were destroyed. And a book is not a car. It's not a product that needs to be perfected like a technology. It's about having a way of life.
But now you just download it on Kindle.
Yeah.
Like
no, exactly, but it's rubbed out getting out of your house and going to a bookstore, meeting the bookstore guy and other people. You used to get fucking laid by going to bookstores. A way that people used to get laid is by going to a bookstore and standing in a section that makes you look smart. And then a chick comes around.
Yeah.
Oh, do you also like
really?
this book?
Oh, sure. I'm perusing this.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. When I grew up in Boston, and there was a place in Harvard Square called the Coffee Connection. And this was a place that was obsessed with coffee, and they had coffees from all around the world. And they'd have stuff like you'd get like a cappuccino, and they'd shave chocolate onto it, not like a canister of chocolate powder.
It took time. I mean,
they had a cheese grater and a block of chocolate, and they'd shred chocolate onto the fucking thing for you. That's like how good it was.
You sound like my grandfather.
No,
grandfather talking to me. You don't even understand the old days.
And
I know the point is about to make.
You'd go to the fucking Coffee Connection, and you'd sit there like trembling, and they'd bring you this thing that would just change your life. Or they'd go, "Hey, you want to try Turkish? We have a new Turkish coffee today. It's a weird thing.
Sounds good.
Never tried it." So then Starbucks opens down the street, but this Coffee Connection hangs on. So Starbucks opens another one, like on the other side of them. Starbucks isn't doing so great that they can open another one. They're just trying to fucking kill.
Oh, shit.
So they open like 5 within a block of the place until Coffee Connection goes, "This is getting hard." And they sell themselves. They go, "Let's just be a Starbucks."
Yeah.
So then Starbucks buys them and then closes the other ones, and then you're just left with fucking just one choice. You get Starbucks.
And the quality of Starbucks is horrible.
It's okay. And the instant Starbucks isn't making a profit, they'll give up, and then there won't be a fucking place to even get coffee in
Then we go back to having no coffee again.
No coffee.
He's right.
So,
I remember the lumber stores. I remember we did a lot of renovation on our old house because we had 7 kids, small house, where we were constantly adding rooms and this and that.
Mom and Pop lumber shop.
Mom and Pop. I would get in the car with my dad. I remember like it was yesterday. We'd go to the local lumber guy. He knew my dad's first name. We got this for you. We made your pile. It's
putting
all
a dormer
set.
On the house, are you? Yeah. Well, you're going to need some of that. No, I'll come over here. I'll help you out. You need that for the joists.
But it was a social thing too, man. How are the kids and
lumber
how are your kids?
Very social.
Right. And then, the Home Depot, it's a fucking massive warehouse and no one wants to fucking help you.
You're just mad right when you walk in.
Sad people working there.
Right.
Yeah. The buying of the lumber is not a happy exchange. It used to be that you could say to yourself, you know what, if I invest in a good saw, and I get some trucks, I could go out and get some fucking poplar and cut it well, and people will come here and build fucking houses with it.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, you got some nice poplar, not as good as Joe Wilson's. Yeah, well, mine is down 3 cents.
Right.
Well, I'll buy yours then. And by the way, we don't improve through this shit.
No.
We actually don't. It's like, it's what happens is the second place product always wins by being more vicious. Like Microsoft versus Apple. Right. Microsoft is bullshit software. It's hard compared to Apple.
I know, believe me.
It's horrible, but Bill Gates is a capitalist, and he was vicious, and he fought Apple, and so for some years anyway.
Yeah.
America lived on shitty computer technology because of his
There was a point where we all thought Apple was gone.
Yeah, it's VHS versus Beta. Beta is still used today.
Yeah.
Beta videotape is still what most TV shows are shot on.
Yeah.
And we all watched VHS tapes because the VHS people said, we make the second best, so we're going to be cutthroat and fucked up and pay off people and go to litigation and like sue Beta. And Beta's like, we're making the best kind. We can't even get people to buy it.
Yeah.
And so everyone gets VHS.
Unbelievable.
It's Tesla and fucking Edison.
Edison
it's always
and Tesla, yeah.
One guy's a genius and is selling a beautiful thing. The second place guy copies it, doesn't do it as well,
and then
takes him to court in every fucking state in America and muscles him and fights him and outdraws him.
Credibility.
Gets some fucking Texan to pay for it. And then we all have to buy the shitty product.
You're fucking brilliant.
It's true. It's the same with cars. They would be better if what you're saying was actually true.
If it was like the guys still on the assembly line.
But your coffee story is deeply depressing.
It is. It's what happens everywhere.
I was thinking, as you were talking about that, like the Starbucks popping up are like weeds.
Yes.
Taking out the really nice fucking crop.
Yeah,
nice
that's
flowers.
what they do.
They're just putting weeds all over the place to destroy it.
That's right. And they don't even make money. Like Harvard Square is a good example.
I love Harvard Square. It's been a while, but
you won't love it next time you go.
It's been years.
There used to be a place called the Tasty and like the Verst House, all these places that have been there from the 1900s. It's a Sunglass Hut and an Abercrombie & Fitch now.
Jesus.
And I was talking to one of the local business guys who owns a cigar store. He's like the last guy left.
Look at you.
No, I'm
talking
this
to
shit
the
fascinates
local
me.
businessman.
And I asked him, "Are you going to go under too?" And he said, you know what? Because he went to Harvard Business School and then he opened his little cigar
business.
store.
Oh God.
He said Abercrombie & Fitch and Harvard Square doesn't even make a profit. They lose money every day. They're not that store. The rent is so high for what they built there that they can't. If they could sell jeans all day, they're not going to make a profit. They're not there to make a profit. It's just a billboard. It's a 3D billboard.
Oh,
it's there so that you'll buy Abercrombie online and to keep it visible
in your mind, in your head. Yeah,
that's fascinating.
There's like the Nike store on 50th or what. All those stores, they don't make a fucking dime. They lose money every day.
It's worth having a giant
global
billboard. It's like a billboard. That you walk into.
That's how far away this is from like. Guy has an idea,
right?
Puts it out there.
I love this.
Folks love it, and they start buying it. It's not even.
Wow.
We're not even close to that anymore.
No. Like, I'm nostalgic for the guy who started Wendy's. Like, that's now like a great American. He's like a revolutionary.
A great American story. Or Ray Kroc from McDonald's.
Yeah, he's like Che Guevara or whatever his name is. Like, he's like, a great man.
They're sort of making a comeback, but remember just the local burger joint was cool.
Are they making a comeback?
A little bit. You see more burger joints popping up. Maybe they were part of a whole corporate thing, but they.
Well, like in New York, there's Five Guy Burgers here.
Right. But when we were growing up, every town had its local burger guy, and they bragged about their burger, and it was better than the guy's burger from the next town over, and then you watch those slowly. The one in Huntington, the Choo Choo hamburger place,
right.
And their thing was, well, we'll bring your burger on a nice fucking train right in front of you.
Right.
Oh, here comes my order.
Train.
You see it fucking rock in the restaurant. And it comes around and stops at your counter spot.
Well, that's what it used to be like when things were more spread out, that everyone had to have their own idea of here's why you want to come here.
And then I think
instead of like, if you come here, it doesn't matter because we're across the street too.
Right.
Fuck you, just eat this shit. You think it's going to get better? Once these big companies take over, the product goes down.
What do you think
have
about
to compete anymore.
Like online purchasing then? You must do a lot of that though.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No, I think that's probably the next version of it, is that you can throw together a little product and sell it online.
And just be the mom and pop online thing?
Yeah, because you don't need a store anymore.
And then someone will figure out how to fuck that over.
Yeah, but you can't, because it's not real estate. You can't take over. You can't push somebody off the internet.
Yeah.
They'll always be there.
That's true, but you can be the better online.
Yeah, they'll make
or the bigger and...
They'll make you have the website with .org.
Yeah, they'll give you a dot something that no one does. But if you're like a mom and pop thing and you're selling, let's say, electronics, or so, you'd be like, oh, great, they don't have that. Let me go to Best Buy's website.
No, that's absolutely true. That's hard to sell.
Yeah.
Just to add to the discussion, I used to be a big music store guy. And every music store was a little different. And this guy, if you got to know him, he's like, I got some fucking bootlegs you might want to see.
That's right.
And it's completely illegal, and we know it, but I've seen you in this place enough times that I know you're not a rat, so why don't you follow me?
Well, that's
Remember
exactly
that
it. Guys like Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop becoming popular was a good thing, I think, for America. It's a good thing for the American voice that guys like that would. But the reason he came up was because certain record stores would go, I'm fucking digging Iggy Pop, and I'm going to sort of take a gamble that my customers will like him.
Right.
So they'd order, like, give me 10 Iggy Pop, 12 inches, and they'd put them out there.
Right.
And the kid with the leather jacket, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
I try him out, kid. You, all right, old man, fuck you, And he'd try Iggy Pop, and he'd go, holy motherfucking shit. And all of a sudden, Iggy Pop is flying off the shelves.
When I was growing up.
But now, if you're not on fucking iTunes, like, the whole country has to make one decision of who we like. There's no sort of local guy.
God,
that's a massive difference in how the culture grows.
I just loved, when I was growing up, I would go to the Village and all those underground record stores. I would spend all afternoon there, and every place had something a little different.
So what is this
and
do?
Bootleg, like, concert shirts and...
Like, what's the bottom line of what this does to society?
No one even has, even young people don't even consider the idea that it's a good idea to be out in the fringe, which is where good ideas come from.
Yeah.
Like, people are almost, like, begging the government to take over and the corporations to take over your life. Like, people are excited that when you take a picture of yourself on your phone and put it online, it says where the fuck you were. Why are people excited about that?
Yeah, what is that?
Like, I remember when Easy Pass first happened. Yeah. Everyone was like, I don't want everybody knowing when I went to the Lincoln Tunnel. Right. Like, what are you, fucking carrying secret documents? Who the fuck gives a shit about you? Right. But people used to think that way.
Right.
Cameras in Central Park for crime? Yeah, but what about my privacy? But now people are like, guess what? If I take a picture and send it to somebody, the whole world knows exactly where I was.
Where I was at that given moment.
And I can store all of everything I have on a computer in North Carolina. And I don't even have to... And they get to have all my stuff. And Facebook knows who all my friends are and what I've said to all of them. Every single fucking conversation I've ever had is a public record in the fucking Library of Congress. Yay! Cool!
That is fucked up.
Isn't that cool?
And we worried about Easy Pass a mere 3 years
ago.
People
are excited.
3 years ago, right.
It's everything true. You tell somebody, I think I might be pregnant, it's in the Library of Congress now.
It's forever.
Cool! And there's a fucking geotag on it saying where you were standing when you fucking said it. A fucking coordinate.
Yeah.
A global coordinate.
Fucking
of where you were standing
and longitude.
Why do people? Why would you want
you said that?
But we didn't want to use
took a picture.
But we didn't want to use Easy Pass 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that is really fucked
sick.
Up. It is really fucked up.
You have to belong to a fucking club to listen to a song. You have to have a credit card to like listen to a song. You can't go buy a record and play it. You have to. If you fucking lose your credibility and your iTunes account gets suspended, you can't play any of your music on anything.
You're done.
You can't listen now where it's on satellite radio. You have to subscribe
yes.
to listen to the radio. Like, the only way to listen to music without being a credible American citizen with a credit card and belonging to a corporation, the only way you can fucking whistle. That's about the only way.
That's how you're going to hear the song.
That's the only
whistling to yourself.
The only time you can, unless you want to join some.
Yeah, because there are a lot of the music stores don't even carry fucking. There's no music stores.
There's no music stores. You got to go to Best Buy,
and they got their CD section, which is dying out. It's being pushed.
Yeah, and it's just
away.
And it's just a reflection of what's on iTunes.
Yeah,
and what's
you don't
on,
have,
Amazon.
Nothing.
You don't have a guy taking care of that section, so it's all just kind of willy nilly.
You're not finding something new and eclectic.
No,
the problem
the
problem is what Louis is getting at is with corporate America. Only a few of the people in corporate America actually make the money. Then everyone else is just slaves to that fucking corporation.
And they're not even American. I mean, it's all offshore. All the companies are unaccountable and they're offshore. And most of them are foreign owned anyway.
Yeah.
Go with the Tower Records. Each Tower Records probably was easily 10, mom and pop record stores.
Yep.
And those guys were actually making a real living. And now, like you said about Atlantic City, Tower Records moves in, and now you used to make a living. Now you're just working for that schmuck.
Yep. And then
Making
Tower Records is gone. So they leave a vacuum. It's not even this idea that everybody's like, yeah, but come on, but this is good for what?
The convenience is nice.
It's like locusts
benefiting.
They just come in, eat it all, and then they're gone, and nothing's left.
And Starbucks,
I know, but still, it's if we didn't do that, you wouldn't have the thing that
wouldn't have the polio vaccine.
The cars run worse than they did in the 70s.
And I could go back.
You need a computer to fix one.
Yeah, you can't work on your car.
No.
That's true, too. You cannot pop the hood on your fucking car and work on it.
I
remember if your car stalled, you would ease over to the shoulder and you lift the hood.
Yeah,
and you
fuck around with it.
And you'd be like, all right, I know enough about the distributor. I think this is something. I think maybe.
Let's see if that's tight.
Yeah, I think
jiggle this a little bit.
My points.
Jiggle this
touching.
cord.
Right.
Yes.
I'm gonna gap it with a matchbook cover. That'll get me home.
Do that.
That'll get me home. It'll run a little fucked up, but that'll get me home. Yeah, you could do that.
If you knew where the fuel pump was, you could jiggle it a little bit.
Yeah, give it a little knock.
Now,
if you cart it and start this, you hit the starter a little bit. And then
I had a '68 Mustang, and I used to fix it. I worked in a garage when I was younger, and I used to fix it. So I the fuel pump would go, like the fuel pump that was in there since 1968 died in like 1993. And then I put in a new fuel pump. And that fuel pump died in 1995. And I went through 3 fuel pumps on that car. Every part of it. The starter that this car was that was put in by some fucking heavy Michigan hands in 1968 when I was 1 year old. some fucking guy with a cigarette dangling put that starter in.
Yeah.
And then went to a very beautiful home in Flint, Michigan, which is now a fucking crack house. He's been dead for years.
His white picket fence, his wife was waiting for him to come home.
And then finally that starter that he fucking personally tightened every part of finally just went, I can't do it anymore, and died in 1994.
Yeah.
And then I took it out and it was heavy and it was beautiful. It was like a piece of art. And then I put it in with this, I put in this thing I got at a parts store. And I asked them, I said, give me the best starter that available. And they gave me this starter, and the metal it was made out of is some weird composite. You could see, like, Coke can pieces in it. And I put it in Weigh Anything, and I stuck it in, and it lasted, like, 6 months.
Yeah.
And it just came apart.
When you used to drop the starter motor, it was like, when you pulled those bolts out, it was heavy.
Yep.
And then the new one, you hold it up with one arm as you're threading the fucking bolt. You're right.
Look at the picture Danny just found. You can't work on that engine. You can't
That's
work
what you
on
see
that
now.
engine. Right.
Yeah.
Just a big block with a logo on it.
Right.
That's it.
That's a Cadillac.
It looks
Powered
like
by Cadillac.
It looks like it just all melted together. You can't get at it.
It's all
you
just
can't.
cowling that they put on so you dare not even look and see what's under there. You can't work on it because it's all computerized.
Now if your car
You
breaks
got to hook
down,
a computer up to it in a corporate place.
if it breaks down, you're lucky enough to get out of your own car.
Yeah.
Might not even
You'd be
get
lucky
out of it.
Right. You'd be lucky if you could at least leave the car.
Yeah.
Holy
I keep
shit.
going back to the coffee thing because I was a big coffee guy as well.
Yeah.
And when Starbucks did hit, it made it convenient that there were more nice coffee places around because you really had to search them out like you're talking about.
Right.
And I didn't live anywhere near Harvard Square, so a Starbucks was like nice instead of shitty diner coffee.
Right.
But then Starbucks didn't care about their product in the end. At first, the coffee was amazing.
Yeah,
but you've watched
had
it
to
drop
compete.
over the years.
Yeah, they had to.
They had to compete.
Now you know the beans they're getting have to be just shitty.
Of course they are.
They have to be.
They're not going to work hard for your money.
Why would they?
They've got
I
it.
explained
At
this
first,
shit
they
to
needed your money, so they worked hard for it.
Exactly. I explain this shit to my kids all the time because we'll go off the beaten path. We'll go 3 blocks over and spend 40 more cents. That what are we doing with this precious money? That people are like, well, I'm saving so that I can buy some fucking video game, have a video game experience for 10 seconds that evaporates from my existence later. What are we saving the money for? But we go a few blocks over, spend a few more cents to go to like a butcher.
Yeah.
Instead of going to, that Price Chopper, we go to a fucking New York City butcher.
Yeah.
Where the guy's got a red face. How you doing, my man? And,
blood all over his fucking little apron that he's wearing.
Gets his steaks from a fucking place where there's like a direct line from the cow to the steak.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, instead of this fucking ShopRite, probably some human parts in the steak thing.
I was going to... like somebody go, oh, you want to get something for lunch? Let's go to like Subway or something. I'm like, why would you not just go to a deli? Like and get a real sandwich made on a hero roll that was in a bakery that morning and the driver took it over to
a place where they're not going to measure the meat.
And it's
I remember I was
a guy all pre-cut.
Where the local guy goes, oh, Anthony, you've been a good customer. Here's a few extra slices. The Subway, they actually weigh their meat and their tomatoes to make sure it's the proper weight.
I was in a Subway once somewhere in Arizona. And I was driving across the country and I stopped. And it was a Subway inside of a fucking Sunoco station. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
and
boy.
there was the fucking kid working there was this depressed looking kid that he cut his own hair like there was chunks. Cut his own hair. Skinny fucking just depressed looking pale American. And the kid he's serving is this exact same person.
Oh, shit.
Like he just different colored version. Like in Star Wars, there was R2-D2, but then there'd be like a red version of it.
Yes,
like
the red R2-D2.
Yeah. It's just kind of basic. And one guy, and he's going, what kind of sauce do you want on? And he's like, and like, I guess I'll go ahead and get the green one. And he's making it for him. And I wanted him to say, should I just eat it too? Does it even make a difference which one of us eats it? Like everyone's just on one side of the counter or the other. There's no identity to any American. Nothing. The only identity you have is what your sauce choice is.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing you get now is like, well, I particularly like.
You do make this grim kind of image of, I don't see, I don't see this going to a good place.
No, it's not, man.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The only good thing that could happen is that it all falls.
That it just all collapses.
It all dies, and everyone has to look around them and go, "What could I piece together and sell?"
Maybe recycle
for my friends.
Maybe
post-apocalyptic lifestyle
would be terrific.
Yeah,
we got a timing issue, so we're going to take a break because we got Rummy calling right at 8:30.
Oh boy,
what happened?